In this video, I put some practice questions on auto and shop information for you to prepare for the ASVAB test. In the diagram, what is the location of the fuel pressure regulator? So take a look at the figure here and find the fuel regulator. So the fuel regulator is located here. So the answer is C. So the fuel pressure regulator regulates pressure in the fuel rail according to intake manifold vacuum. Making large, wider than 1/2 inch holes in wood is called boring, nailing, drilling, or screwing. So when making large holes with a diameter greater than 1/2 inch, a process called boring is often used. So the answer here is boring. And boring is a technique that enlarges or creates holes in materials, typically using specialized tools such as hole saws or auger bits. What type of combustion system powers automobiles? So automobiles are powered by internal combustion engines, which are heat engines that convert the chemical energy of fuel into mechanical energy. So the answer here is internal, from internal combustion engines. And the fuel is burned inside the engine, and the resulting combustion gases expand and push a piston, which in turn rotates a crankshaft. And the crankshaft then transfers the power of the engine to the wheels, which makes the car move. What type of knot uses a cotter pin? Castellated knot, retaining knot, lock knot, or wing knot? The answer here is castellated knot. So a castellated knot is a knot with two or more castellations or raised portions on its circumference. The cotter pin is inserted through the castellations and bent to secure the knot in place. Which part of the fuel system sprays a fuel and air mixture into the engine's combustion chamber? So the answer here is fuel injector. The fuel injector is responsible for delivering fuel into the combustion chamber in a precise and controlled manner. It atomizes the fuel and combines it with the appropriate amount of air to create an optimal fuel-air mixture for combustion. So the fuel injector operates based on signals from the engine control unit, or ECU, and sprays the fuel into the combustion chamber at the right time and in the correct quantity to support efficient combustion. An internal combustion engine in which the cylinders are aligned in two banks, which are at an angle to each other, is known as a or an inline engine, rotary engine, V engine, or boxer engine. The answer here is V engine. A V engine is an internal combustion engine in which the cylinders are arranged in two banks, which are at an angle to each other. The angle between the banks is typically 60 degrees, but it can be 45 degrees or 90 degrees. And V engines are more compact than inline engines, which have the cylinders arranged in a single line, and this makes them ideal for use in cars and trucks, where space is limited. And V engines are also more balanced than inline engines, which can make them smoother running. If one complete revolution of the steering wheel causes the wheels to turn 20 degrees, what is the steering ratio? Now the steering ratio is just equivalent to the steering wheel rotation over the wheel rotation. So steering ratio, that is equivalent to the steering wheel over the wheel rotation. And one complete revolution of the steering wheel is equal to 300 degrees. Right, and rotation of the wheels for one complete revolution of the steering wheel is given here is it's 20 degrees. Therefore, the steering ratio is just equivalent to 360 degrees divided by 20 degrees. Therefore, the steering ratio is just equal to 18. So the steering ratio here is 18 is to 1. This means that for every complete revolution of the steering wheel, the wheels will turn 18 times. Which of the following will not occur from setting a spark plug gap wider? Better combustion, potential misfire at high speeds, bigger spark, or a smaller, weaker spark? So the answer here is a smaller, smaller, weaker spark. A wider spark plug gap will result in a bigger spark. This is because the spark has to travel a long distance between the electrodes. A bigger spark can lead to better combustion, which can result in increased engine performance and decreased fuel consumption. However, a wider gap also requires more voltage to jump, which can lead to misfires, especially at high speeds. Therefore, a smaller, weaker spark will not occur from setting a spark plug gap wider. The catalytic converter converts toxic gases into compounds such as hydrocarbons, carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxides, or carbon monoxide. The answer here is carbon dioxide. Alright, catalytic converters are emissions control devices found in the exhaust systems of vehicles. They contain catalysts that facilitate chemical reactions to convert harmful gases produced by the engine into less harmful compounds. In the case of a catalytic converter, it helps convert carbon monoxide or CO, hydrocarbons, carbons HC, and nitrogen oxides NO(X) into carbon dioxide, water, and nitrogen. Which of the following is the location of the differential on a drive axle? Now, what is a differential? A differential allows cars to rotate at different speeds as the car goes around a corner, and it helps the drive axle split the power between the two drive wheels. So looking at the picture here, this one here is letter D is the differential. So the answer is letter D.